Yes, Cynthia, I'm here waiting on law enforcement. I just exit this residence right here. My last victim. I was able to obtain the names and addresses of the individuals who did this to my 11-year-old son, and I went to each and every one of their homes and I unalived them in the most graphic and horrific way possible. I know my life is over. I really don't care. I might get 25 to life. I might go to pine oil heaven. I might get the lethal concoction, in which case I don't really give a fuck. I hope in the wake of my death, the conversation can be had in regards to the overall consequences pertaining to teenagers and their parents when they decide to strip off an 11-year-old's clothes and beat them. Here come the cops now. So
Welcome to True Jamaica Buzz, news and entertainment with a buzz. The voice note that you heard at the start of this is of a father of a victim of RAPE. When that happened to that family, to that father, to that mother, they were so emotionally traumatized that the father decided that he was going to take matters into his own hands. He was going to obtain the documents as to where these persons live, meaning the suspects in the case of his child, and he was going to take it to the most extreme measures. And he told you exactly what took place and how he felt about his action and how he felt about the repercussion. Now, people, when we listen to that audio, and based on what is going on in Jamaica, based on those two recent cases of that little girl that were jumped over, her fence was jumped over by at least 5 to 7 young youth scholars, and then this little youth in a Hopewell that is in Hanover, in which he was clawed up by a group of other students that are actually gang member. Don't know if this is some sorts of gang affiliation or whatever the circumstances are. But most parents, including myself, if you ask them, if that, had that been your little picnic, being the girl or the boy, what would your course of actions be? And to tell you the truth, I am not going to say I am surprised because desperate times calls for desperate measures. And parents have come to the realization that you cannot rely on the police, you cannot rely on the schools, you cannot rely on the system, you cannot listen to the prime minister, you cannot listen to the commissioner, you cannot listen to the security or justice minister. It has become more and more evident that the system is a total failure, especially when you come from the lower socio-economic class, because it seems as if this is where most of these despicable acts are being committed in those schools. And just based on the sequence of events, but not limited to what happened in Hopewell, not limited to what happened to that schoolgirl and those 7 other individuals, just cases back on top of cases. It seems as if Jamaica is pretty much FUCKED. So people are resorting to desperate measures. As in the case of this father, it is not Jamaica, but it appropriately applies. And if the same thing keeps happening, this is exactly what is going to be repeated. We can call it copycat syndrome of the Tarzan and Jane and the little monkey type of justice. Point blank and period. And just to update on the latest as it pertains to the Hopewell High School that is in Hanover, in which that little boy that was 15 at the time, there has been 3 students, male students, that has been arrested. It is said that they are linked to the St. James Sparta or Young Sparta gang, and that the police is looking for some more suspect. We should not be surprised based on the deeds that we see being perpetuated in that video. Now, when you think about the circumstance, it seems as if the stream from the head, it is corrupted. If you did not know, this is the same school in which we saw that the bursar at the school was taken away, allegedly by the principal. They had some sorts of fishy relationship. The bursar was supposed to leave and go overseas, migrate, and it seems as if the principal did not want that because he felt as if it was his man. So we see that the principal was a suspect in the takeaway. Not only that, Based on information that I am getting, it is said that the principal was also involved in a case at a other school, a primary school, in which him touch up a little young youths. This is the same school in which there was some sort of dispute amongst a gang or a group of students, and one of them juke up the next one, he was taken out. As it pertains to this latest incident, this youth was ABUSED, ASSAULTED on Monday, 2 days before, and the incident that we saw took place on Wednesday by the same gang. Don't know if he made any sort of report, but like I told you before, the father went to the school, filed a report, went to the police station, and that is how we got to this, in which at least 3 persons are locked up. They are in the custody of the Popo. More than likely, they will not get any bail, or at least at the first attendance at court. So based on what we are hearing, we can come to the conclusion that is either 2 things. Dopia haunt them, the school is cursed, or there is just bad management or lack thereof at that institution. And this is our next fun fact. Based on what we see at these schools, and it is a representation of most of these bad schools in Jamaica, students are walking around when they are assaulted by other students. Students just go in at them pocket and take out them school money or lunch money. Students also take away their gadgets, meaning phone, laptop, tablet, whatever they so choose. And most of the time, when these students make any sort of report to either the school and or the police, they are threatened, their lives are threatened. Most of the time, when the parents of these suspects are asked to come in, the parent is nonchalant about it. So usually, the student that is caught up, the student that is robbed, does not get any sort of justice, does not get back their property. Life goes on. It is just a cycle of madness. Somebody needs to step in, the relevant authority, the government, the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of National Security. It seems as if everybody is lost, dazed, and confused. And this is yet an next perfect example. Point blank and period. So the next thing that is popping in the news, I told you before, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. It seems as if the police, Department of Correction that holds prisoners responsible for that, they keep making the same silly mistakes over and over, and people, it happened once more again. An individual known as O'Shane Scott O.C. Chinchin, he was attending the parish court in St. Mary, in a Port Maria to be specific, a day or so ago. He requested that he want to go to the bathroom to take a piss. The officer is the operative word, obliged. While he was taking him to take a piss, everything was okay. While he was coming back to the holding cell, the man then pelted some lick upon the officer, lick him down, take for himself, run through the door and exits through the main gate, exit upon the main road, police chase to no avail. Him take for himself, gone for until November, until December. Based on the information, it is said that that man was at court for jumping over the fence of a couple of people, larceny, assault at common law, wounding with intent, amongst other charges. Now, people, when we listen to stuff like this, we have to ask ourselves the question. It seems as if these officers are dazed and confused. It seems as if these officers are not focused. It seems as if these officers are weak. It seems as if these officers are underpaid, malnourished, because we've seen videos of instances in which at least 5 police try to arrest one individual and they are overpowered, manhandled, flinged to the side like some sorts of ragdoll. What this speaks is volume is of the nonchalant, the negligence and irresponsibility of the Department of Correction in helping to keep Jamaica safe from these criminal elements, because when we look at the charges that this man is facing, We would consider this man to be a danger, a menace to society. I am sure the Popo can also attest to that. However, this man is being escorted, no sorts of chain, no sorts of ankle chain, no sorts of waist chain, no sorts of handcuff, that he could actually overpower the officer. And then again, when we think about it, the way that Jamaica is corrupt, maybe somebody get a piece of food and maybe somebody was acting, maybe somebody is going to be okay, get new car, house, whatever the circumstances are. Not sure that that is a fact. Don't have any sorts of evidence to substantiate those claims. Maybe the Popo just need to put in better training for these officers, feed them and pay them better and make them know, say, stay focused. Cannot be lapsing, cannot be caught slipping. Whenever you get caught slipping, you are going to slide. Luckily, they did not slide him or slid him into the afterlife, the officer I am speaking. Hopefully, they will catch this man and start the whole cycle over again. Maybe not, point blank and period. So the next thing that is popping in the news, it is called you can't trust your girl, you can't trust your wife, can't trust your husband, can't trust your you can't trust the prime minister, can't trust the police, can't trust the commissioner, can't trust the pastor, can't trust nobody, none at all, including the relevant authorities specifically. The organization known as NEPA, National Environment Planning Agency. They govern to make sure that everything environmentally goes right. Well, people, something went woefully wrong as it pertains to the Rio Cobre that is in the St. Catherine area and all over Jamaica. Based on the information, it is said that there was some sorts of oil spill caused by malfunctioning equipment at Tradewinds Citrus. There was a big lawsuit pending in the court for that. The people that depend on the Rio Cobre to fish, they were impacted vastly. They were thinking to themselves, yes, they might get a big piece of food. Persons were thinking that, yes, this company finally will have to pay up the ASS millions or billions of dollars for all of the malfunction and all of the spill that is caused, that is sometimes irreversible, or even if it is going to take a mighty long time. So like I said, the case was in courts. However, it seems as if NEPA and Tradewinds Citrus came to some sort of non-disclosure agreement in which they cannot give details to the public of exactly what they agreed to. However, the case was thrown out in court, no further court hearing. People are wonder, people are ponder. Since then, we see the head of NEPA, he retired or resigned. And we heard everybody, the relevant authorities now coming out, including the DPP's office, specifically Claudia Thompson, who is the assistant DPP. She is saying, then all in a minute, we were caught. We were shocked. We did not know that there was any sort of agreement. As a matter of fact, we did not even get any sorts of documentation, no sorts of paperwork saying that there was going to be any sorts of agreement. As far as we are concerned, we told NEPA, send over the file, send over the paperwork. That was not done. I want you to take a look to what Claudia Thompson has to say. She is the assistant DPP, and then I'll give my piece.
So the letter starts out by saying, we are before the court, we've gone to mediation, it has been recommended. I don't know who made the recommendation, but it has been recommended that we seek a nolle prosequi from you. The matter comes back before the court on November 27. We need your guidance as a matter of urgency. Will you get back to us by then? We actually got back to NEPA, I believe, the morning of the 27th, asking for more and better particulars because we have no file. We cannot give you advice if we do not have any material on which to give you the advice. So we wrote asking for the documents. We're asking for the file. Whatever it is that you have, send it to us. And then we learned later that evening that no evidence had been offered. Actually, we heard the matter had been disposed of. We wrote again today asking for the material. Remember, the prosecution has the right of appeal, So is this one matter that we should be looking at an appeal? I don't know. I don't even know how they arrived at the position they arrived at. I've heard through the media that there was a secret deal.
So people, you heard what the assistant DPP, Mrs. Thompson, said. She knew nothing about any sort of non-disclosure agreement. She knew nothing about any sort of deal as far as she is concerned. She did not know that they were keeping secrets are supposed to be kept by the relevant authority and the person who is the defendant in a court. She thought that everything was going to go by the books. However, she was surprised, she was caught off guard, shocked and awe. But the good thing is that the DPP's office reserved the right for any sort of appeal, whether it was a plea deal, whether there was some sort of secret negotiation, non-disclosure agreements, and that is exactly what she is going to do. Now, people, when we hear stuff like this, we should not be surprised because Jamaica is probably the most corrupted place on Master God earth, if not top 3, top 5 at the worstest case. These people are willing to take money under the table, take a bribe, and turn their back on the people who they are supposed to represent. And they know that there is little repercussion, if a slap on the wrist, whenever they do such things. As a matter of fact, this man that was the big man at NEPA, he probably is going to get a next job with a next government agency because it seems as if that is all that is done in a Jamaica. They recycle the same sorts of criminals over and over. No prison time, no court, no nothing. Just another day in paradise, as sad as it sounds. Point blank and period. So the next thing that is popping in the news, it is called fake it till you make it. Speak it into being, or at least until you get arrested for being a fraud. I am speaking about the person that you see on the screen right here now, posing as some sort of doctor at the Spanish Town Hospital. His name is Andrew Clark. He calls himself Dr. Andrew Clark. That is what most persons know him as. Here is a fact about not such a Dr. Andrew Clark. Based on information, it is said that this man is often seen on the premises compound of the Spanish Town Hospital. These are the facts. This man does not work at the Spanish Town Hospital. This man is always dressed up like some sort of doctor. He even has a badge that says that he is an employee there. When he passes to go to his mine work, the security see him, salute him, wagwan dak, rete, lele, blue, blah, bling. However, he is not on the premises conducting any sorts of medical work. He is there for the chopper of the doctorate type. He is there selling sham, selling all sorts of visa proposal. If you have some sorts of medical condition and you feel as if the premises or the facilities in a Jamaica cannot facilitate what you want, and you need to go to the United States, he has all the links at the embassy through the Immigration and Naturalization Service of America, United States that is. He promised all sorts of visa, medical visa to people. However, that visa was not forthcoming, but their money was foregoing. There are at least 4 persons, complainants, that went to the post station and said they were robbed X amount of dollars by Mr. Posing Dr. Andrew Clark. As a matter of fact, there's a video making its round on social media with Mr. Andrew Clark supposedly posing at work, saying that he has such an hectic day, showing his office's place of work and saying that he is so tired. He has at least 100 clients outside. Take a listen, take a look.
This is my office, and there's about 100 people on the outside already.
Now, people, I want you to hear exactly what the popo that is on the case has to say, and then I'll give my piece.
2 counts of obtaining money by false pretense, 2 counts of uttering forged documents, and 2 counts of possession of forged documents. They were interviewing somebody who alerted them to a possible fraudulent transaction. And then it opened a wider investigation. Presently, there are at least 4 complainants and all of them has to do with some form of fraudulent activities with this same suspect. Some of what the investigation is revealing now is that persons intentionally wanted to do some transaction outside of the procedures that is required by either the private company or a government agency.
So people, you heard from the good doctor, the bad doctor himself, supposedly doctor, and you hear from the popo. Now you have a decision to make. Who are you going to believe? Are you going to believe the doctor that walk like a doctor, pose like a doctor, or are you going to be the police that act like a police? Very hard decision because we don't know which of them are bigger frauds. Just a joke. So anyways, people, that is what is going on as it pertains to this. You know, so people are going to get shammed because if you see somebody at a doctor's place of work and that person is telling you that, listen, I can get you medical visa to go to United States to fix up your medical situation, you are probably going to believe because you're going to say to yourself, what is the likely possibility of a fraud, a Choppa, acting like a doctor? I guess we should now address him as Choppa Doctor, Choppa John, MD, point blank and period. So anyways, people, thanks once again for checking out my video. If you appreciate videos like these, please show your appreciation by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing to my channel. That is how YouTube promotes videos like these to like-minded, sensible persons like yourself. Bless up.